What's going on, everybody? This is Steve from AltCoin Buzz, and I am here to talk to you guys about how I'm doing today. So let's point out the elephant in the room. You know, if you're just waking up to this, well, good morning to you. The market cap's below $500 billion. So what are you going to do about it, right? You think you've got this master plan about how you're going to somehow navigate these high seas and make it through the end. Well, here's how you do it. First and foremost, you have a long-term strategy. You hodl the crap out of these things. And you don't make knee-jerk decisions based on 24-hour, 48-hour, 7-day volumes. So who, show of hands, is still in it to win it? Go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know you're here. And that's one of the best ways you guys can show your support for AltCoin Buzz and keep us around, because we're going to be in it to win it with you guys. So anytime that you feel like your faith is shaken, just remember that Jeff and Steve and Shaylin and Shosh, we're here to stand by you guys, give you advice and navigate through it, because we knew getting into it that it wasn't all just going to be high times. There was going to be days where we were going to have, dark and stormy days like today, these last couple weeks. Get over it, guys. Are you going to win every day? If you look at your portfolio every day, did you expect to never have a day that was down or a week that was down? So check yourself. Leave those feelings at the door, and remember some of the main rules, some of the main tenets of investing, which is, 1, never invest more than you can afford to lose. So if you're sweating it right now, if you're feeling the pressure, you invested more than you can lose, plain and simple. Otherwise, what are you getting upset about? That your gains aren't as gainful as they should have been? So if you have to go from super rich to just rich, you're going to jump off a bridge? No, come on, guys. Even if you come out breaking even in the end, what does it matter? It's a wild ride, right? So you got to learn when to invest, and you got to learn when to take your profits. And nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody's from the future, although maybe we'll see an appearance from future Steve here during the video that might give you guys some advice. Maybe not. But either way, you guys just have to remember that if you feel like you're losing right now, then you invested more than you can afford to lose. Or you've written checks that your coins can't cash. So think about that. Did you get your high hopes up and you're thinking that, hey, if I hold on to my coins a little bit longer, I can spend some money on my credit card and pay it off with my coins or whatever. Or, this isn't gambling, guys. This is investment. And I don't know anybody who makes an investment that actually expects to see 100% upside in a matter of weeks. I mean, in the stock market, let's take a peek at that. Just, from recollection, it takes a long time to double your money in the stock market, minus anything going crazy. So, yeah, guess what? The stock market's also coincidentally at all-time highs. This is not the stock market. So get that out of your mind. It works a little bit like it. Market cap works like it. Trading volume works like it. But we're not investing in tried and true businesses here. This is venture capital at its most raw format, and it is a frickin' bull ride, right? Some people are acting like the bear's showing his face. Well, there's ups and downs, and Jeff's talked to you guys already about the Lunar New Year, the Chinese Lunar New Year, and how that affects the market every year. If you don't believe us, follow this, right? Come up here on CoinMarketCap, one of our favorite websites for checking out the market. Click on the market cap there. And you're going to see a chart that represents the entire total market capitalization across whatever time frame you want. You could put in custom dates. You can look at all time, which is what it's looking at right now. You can look at day, week, month, 3-month, year to date. There's any way you want to slice it. You could take a look at the data. So here's another thing I got to ask you guys or talk about. I'm going to put this back on you. Little tough love from Steve here, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of me because I'm an easygoing guy. And believe it or not, I'm actually really calm and collected right now, speaking to you easy, friend to friend, right? So the same people that are asking us, what to do, guys? What do I do? Oh, I bought this. What do I do? You guys are the same dudes who like a week ago or 2 weeks ago were saying, well, geez, I wish I'd have bought Bitcoin when it was $10,000. I wish I'd have bought Ripple when it was under $1. I wish I'd have bought... Well, guess what time it is, dude? The time portal's open. Moses has got the waters parted, and they're not going to be open forever. So think about that for just a moment. If you're the same dude who is saying, I wish I bought Bitcoin for under $10,000, and you're the same dude who's saying, I bought at all-time highs and now I can't sell. What do I do? Switch up your strategy, man. Learn from those mistakes and move on. Now, if you're like most other people, you're probably hoping that this price stays low enough until you can get yourself some cash scratched together, that you can throw some more cash into the market and dollar cost average your way to hero-like savings. Or earnings, right? So think about it. We haven't seen the price be this low since roughly, a month ago. Wow. Okay, so we're back down to where we were a month ago. How long ago was that, really? So if you put your coins in your market back in November, let's pull up the 3-month spread here. Think about how catastrophic today feels like to you guys. But let's reference that to what it was like right before Thanksgiving. Total market cap in the entire crypto sphere wasn't even $200 billion. And we're still sitting at 400 and something billion right now. Get real. Come on, guys. Put it in that perspective. Now let's think about what happened last January. So let's go to the 1-year spread. And it's kind of hard to observe what happened because we're at such an all-time freaking high, right? So we're still under the ether, so to speak. Sort of a pun intended, I suppose. Could have been an Ethereum joke, but it wasn't intended to be. Well, let's go take a look at what went on from like a spread. If you guys are curious how you do that, just pop that stuff in there. Get on with it. All right. Forget it. We're going to spread in like that. All right. So we'll narrow even further into what was going on in early January. So let's do all time. Let's go back to January 17, and we're going to see what happened here, right? So right around a year ago, this is January 5th, things had shot up from a crazy low of a really boring total market cap 1 year ago, roughly, of $14 billion. Jeez. If only you'd have gotten in then, right? Well, those people saw a massive run up, and most of this, mind you, the Bitcoin dominance was pretty strong at this time. So it ran up to $22 billion. And then overnight, just like it's doing right now, it crapped the bed, right? It went back down to where it had almost done. You could call that a correction. Who knows what was going on? But you know what it probably was? The same conditions that are taking place right now. And what was it followed by? A little gain and a super crash, right? Well, this looks oddly familiar to what just happened in the last 2 weeks. And that was about a 1 or 2 week spread. And then it was followed by some regained faith with slower momentum and a little bit of sell-off because people take profits, right, guys? Right now, we're not seeing people necessarily take profits, although some of us have, and some people certainly are entitled to do that. But we're seeing people liquidate, and that's when you get a little bit of insanity, is when people aren't just taking profits. They're also liquidating because they need access to that capital for some reason. And it's speculated that the Chinese Lunar New Year, people have major expenditures in China. I don't know firsthand. I'm not Chinese. Maybe my accent was a dead giveaway. I was born in New Jersey. I live in Arizona. I've lived in Mississippi too. So somehow I have this weird just American accent. As if we all just have one accent in America. How naive. But then you look. About 2 months later, the market capitalization had regained back to what had happened at the all-time highs. Because you know what happens when all-time highs are achieved? People all of a sudden have an awakening to what the potential value of their coins and their holdings could be, right? Because when you're in uncharted territory and you've never been there before, you get really nervous, right? You're going into waters that you don't know what lies ahead, and all you're doing is you're taking notes and you're observing. And the moment you feel like you've gone a little too far, just like these people did here when it had too many gains, January 5th, 2017, people thought, I've gone too far, I've got to go back. And that's exactly what they did. And within about 1 or 2 days, the market capitalization fell 30+%. Ta-da! All right, now let's go look at all time, right? I want to go take a look at the year before. Because allegedly, this type of behavior happens around the same time. So take a look at what happened. January 14th, 2016. Things had done a nice run up around New Year's. And ta-da, kaboom. The stuff went from... Now, you have to think about the percentage effect, right? So, because you can even see from a graphical standpoint, it has similar bearings to what's going on today. You had a nice year-end November to December, January run-up, and then right around mid-January, happened fast, right? People panicked. And we're talking about only going from market capital of $7.5 billion down to $6 billion. But that's a large percentage. So reference that, right? And that had to panic people. But look at the pattern again. It went up, shot back down, and then it started to gain confidence, right? So trading volumes taking place here. This was a large buy-in, and we know that because the price went up. Large buy-in, the price went up. These had to have been sell-offs. Look at those massive trading volumes. So anytime that there's significantly more selling orders out there on the market than there are buying orders, it becomes a buyer's market, and the buyers like to buy cheap. Just like you guys. You always want to buy cheap. You always want to sell high. So when there's more selling orders than buying orders, the price is going to drop, and it's going to drop drastically because the price isn't negotiated by some MSRP or some government organization or dictated by anything other than the trading volume, the average trading price, and those trading prices are dictated by the standing selling orders and buying orders. So if you're selling yourself short by trying to sell your stuff fast, and that's what happens during a panic, people want to sell quickly and not risk missing an opportunity to sell. They short everybody. They go in and cut the legs out from underneath you and knock you down. So let's also take a look at 2015. Let's see if we can see a similar pattern, right? And we may or may not, because I was not personally in the market in 2015. But holy cow, take a look at that. It was at $6 billion, and what happened around mid-January? Massive, accelerated sell-off to the point of dropping the market 50%, followed by a nice run-up and a nice sell-off and regain confidence throughout the year. So ask yourself how long you're willing to play this investment game. If you were only going to play it while it was fun and cute, you probably just need to do what you need to do, cash out or walk away and here's what's actually better for you. Don't cash out, right? Because that's a weak hand. And I don't want to give anybody advice that's really for weak hands. What I'd like for you to do if you're really sweating the stuff, because I know you didn't put in more than you can afford to lose, confidently walk away from it. Don't check the websites. Come back in 3 months, and I'll send you my address so you can mail me a thank you letter. That's what you guys need to do, because that's exactly what we're going through right now is a predictable seasonality that has to do with markets outside of our control. Massive run-up, roughly mid-January, a drop. And then this one, it was a little bit more of a steady drop, but you can see that the market had really never had trading volumes before because we're dealing with things that are only a few years old. But just let that soak in. Look at this all-time graph, and let's look at 1 year ago today how insignificantly low the total market capitalization of the entire cryptocurrency space was. And let's look at today. Dry your tears, rub some dirt in those wounds, and get up and walk it off like a big boy or girl, and get prepared to do some big bull running, right? Because right now is a great time to buy in. So I want to revisit again. Anybody who said, oh, geez, I wish I had known. I wish I had bought in when it was cheap. Nobody knew. The people who bought into Bitcoin at $7,000 probably looked like morons to their friends who were talking about Bitcoin that was just $300 a short period before that. Well, how do you think those $7,000 people who bought Bitcoin felt when a couple weeks later they're holding on to $15,000 to $20,000 coins? Well, they were if they sold them. Now you're holding on to $10,800 coins. So we're at $500 billion of market capitalization. We're seeing a strengthening dominance of Bitcoin. If you're not paying attention to that, right now could be a potentially good time to consolidate into Bitcoin. We're seeing Tether. People are taking advice, and rather than cashing completely out of the market, they're going into Tether. So Tether's regaining some strength. Hey, Tether's up. And that's weird because it's going to self-correct and it's going to go back to $1 because it tethers itself. You know, it's supposed to be bonded to the US dollar, so corrections will be coming. But yeah, why do you think it's green for the 1 hour, the 24 hour, and the 7 day? Because it is a safe haven for smart investors to move their capital into when they realize the market's going down. So they're not taking their cash out of play and removing it from the market, which would further panic in other investors, right? They are moving it into Tether, taking a risk. It's a calculated risk. There's no guarantee that Tether's your best friend. But if you sense, because there's no way of knowing, that the market's going to continue to go down further, then get into Tether. It's a lifeboat. And then the moment you feel like the weather's cleared and things might be coming back up, buy back into your positions. So you're going to make a note of what your positions cost before you got into Tether. And the moment you sense that you're in a buying opportunity and could take your Tether and purchase more. So let's say you bought Bitcoin at $15,000, right? You bought one Bitcoin and then it goes to $13,000 and you go, oh crap, I better get into Tether. So you get into Tether and then it goes to $10,000. What are you going to do? You're going to stay in Tether or are you going to buy that Bitcoin back for $10,000? Because if you do that, you're actually going to end up with 1.3 Bitcoin and you're going to look like a freaking hero because you just made 30% gains on your biggest holding during a down market the moment that thing recovers. Freaking genius, right? Anyhow, this is your boy Steve from AltCoin Buzz. Comment below what you're doing to wait out the storm. You know, what are you looking forward to? And if you are serious about these coins and you're looking for buying opportunities, I'm going to tell you, other than the obvious losers like BitConnect, that there really is probably no bad deal. You know, this is that opportunity where you can make almost a blind decision and say, I don't know why I decided to buy this, but guess what? My coin's doubled in value like 3 weeks later. You're going to be that guy here 3 weeks from now or sometime from now. Stay patient, stay strong, join the ranks, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to us here on YouTube and you've made it this far into the video, obviously you like the content, subscribe. Then a little bell will appear next to that. You're going to hit the bell for notifications so that way you know when Jeff, Shaylin, and myself make new videos for you guys. And then we want you to join us on Twitter. You're going to go to @AltCoinBuzzIO on Twitter. You're going to get notifications throughout the day with pictures and other price alerts, as well as reminders of what to do and what not to do in the market. And we're also on Instagram. We're AltCoin Buzz. This is Steve signing off.